plan to just immediately talk about 2 Perl6 modules back to back. I actually wrote this talk for the Glasgow Perl conference, and because I'd given a lightning talk on the first day, I wasn't allowed to give it on the second day, and then I remembered about an hour ago, oh wait, I wrote a lightning talk that I never gave, so here we are. Probably shouldn't put that in the same pocket as my phone, it probably won't work very well. So, hi, I'm Simon, blah. Why test HTTP server? A little while ago I decided I'm going to learn Perl6, I'm going to rewrite www mechanize, a thing that I have never used, but I've no intention of using. I don't really, but I thought, you know, it'd be an interesting challenge, and some people do like to use it, and some people do have a use for it. So, you know, and there was a list of Perl modules, and there still is a list of Perl modules that we would kind of like migrated over to Perl6, and this was on it. I figured I'll give it a go. I like doing test-driven development, and the thing with www mechanize is because of the way it's working, because you're wanting to make requests to a web server and get back results and stuff. I really wanted to have a HTTP server that I could control for my tests. I didn't want to be making tests to Google or requests to other places that I didn't control, and I didn't really want to have it going off to a web server that wasn't there where I was doing my testing, so that if the network wasn't up when I was doing the install, the test would still run. So I wrote test www server thing, the test HTTP server. So what you do is you make a folder, and you can have multi-layers of the folders, and it just maps locations in a folder to paths. You fire up your server, it will get itself a random port that you can then request from it, looking at test.port, and then you make requests to that thing, and then there's an event list which have got what path was requested, what was the method used, what was the response we gave to that. Like I say, the paths requested map to paths in your folder. If a file exists at a path, then you get 200. If the file doesn't exist, it gives a 404. By default, it will handle HTML, ping, JPEG, blah, 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 all of those different MIME types out of the box. So that's its basic use, and that was enough for what I first wanted. But then I wanted to start doing some stuff involving maybe testing for authentication, maybe what happens if you get 500 error and all this kind of thing. So then I added in config YAML. So if you put config YAML in the folder, then you can give some additional settings, and these are all documented in the module because I'm a big believer in documenting modules. He says I haven't actually read this for a while, but I'm pretty sure I documented it. You can specify additional MIME type mappings for files, for file types, if there's specific ones you want to be giving. You can specify different responses to paths, and one of the things you can do with that is you can basically give a list of responses. So you can say the first time you request this path, it gives a 401. Second time, it gives a 200. You can have it that different times you request that path, it can return different results and stuff, because maybe you want to handle dealing with a mock API and such like. But yeah, that's how it stood at the time. Like I say, I wrote this in August. I haven't looked at test HTTP server since then. I want to pick it up again. So yeah, I have got some plans for extending it. At some point, I might even get around to working on www mechanize again. You never know, stranger things have happened. But mostly I thought some people might find this useful. If you're doing Perl6 development and you want to be able to test without using mocks, you actually want to be testing that you're making an HTTP request rather than mocking stuff up because you want to test what you get back in a response. This might be useful to people, so I thought I'd just tell you about it. So there we go. If you want to look at it, it's online. If you want to help me out, there you go. If you want to use it, that would be lovely. And I think that's it. Yeah.